Hey, so in light of AI, we're noticing a new ad type start to take off for brands, specifically when it comes to the fashion brands, but this also works for supplement brands if you can get it right. But fashion brands specifically, we're calling them lookbook ads. And these lookbook ads for our brands that are doing this, they're doing $200,000 a month from these ad types, just from these ads alone. And you have to do them the right way. And I'm gonna show you the right way. I'm gonna show you some examples that are working, but it's all based off of a fundamental marketing technique that I'm gonna teach you in this video. So this is part of a training I did for our mentorship group. So if you're interested, make sure you click the link in the description. If you want to get inside of that group, we do weekly trainings on some of these principles that are working for brands. So these types of ads are working exceptionally well across many verticals, specifically fashion, and they're lookbook videos. So as usual, here are the receipts just to show you some of these ads that are performing. For our brands, I do anonymize their brand name because that's just part of the deal working with us. But I'm going to show you creative types that's not shown this ad account, but they are cranking. So lookbook videos, guys, so lookbook ads are quite interesting because they're quite hard to replicate with AI. And I'm going to walk you through what we're doing and how we're doing it and just how simple these really are. But if you have a brand that has a particular type of person, or that person who buys from you, there's a particular type of dream outcome that they want, which I'll get into, this is perfect for it. So what are lookbook ads? Okay, lookbook ads are high-end looking creative. What do I mean by that? Is it looks like it's a high-end model that's being shot in a real location. And the whole point of it is it's almost like the old style of flipping through a product catalog. The lookbook essentially is them modeling that shot in a setting that people fantasize or want to be in or wish that they looked that good in that setting. I know that sounds crazy, but that's why it's working, okay? And what's really interesting is it's really changing my opinion, just how interesting trends are. It's because we came from a previous trend, having done this for 7 years, where really low production value stuff was cranking, and it still does, but now we still want to produce it low cost but make it look high end, and that's the big difference. So lookbook ads are high end looking creative. Now this can all still be shot with an iPhone, but it's specifically really attractive models that are doing really attractive models that are the representation of what that customer base wishes they look like, they strive to look like, in a setting or in a location wishing that they looked that great in that setting. That's why it's called lookbook. Essentially, it's modeling the clothes in a way that looks high end, that particular customer base aspires to be. So if this was like, for example, an African-American brand and they're going after American women, for example, then it would be what do they aspire to look like and to be like and wish people saw them as. That's why it's working. And so typically what we do, and this is important for lookbook ads, is whether it's a video, whether it's a photo, you want to be showing the closeness, intricacy of the designs, of the stitching, okay, but also showing full body. That's really important, is you need to have both. We have split tests running right now that are also still proving this point that for this to work, you need both. You need full body shots plus close-up intricacies, because it's the close-up that gives it the high quality feel where they can see the closeness, the stitching, how the buttons come together, right? The closeness of the patterns, but it's the full body that makes them envision them wearing it. And it's the background setting and aesthetic that makes them idolize that thing. So that's what it is on the static side. But then on the video side, this is where you trial it. For the video side, you do try-ons. So you can see in these videos right here, we have different clips. We have in-studio shoot, then we have on-location shoot, then we have people talking through them wearing it, and you're also cutting in B-roll of them styling it on location. That is what's working right now. It's a lookbook. For example, if you took this particular dress or this collection, for example, how to look in different settings, how to look in different ways you style it on different models, for example, in different locations. That's what's working really well. So for all of our fashion brands, this is the style of content that we're running, and it is absolutely crushing. But it crushes for a few reasons. Number one is, first of all, we understand the aesthetic. So this is a different brand, but this works because of the marketing principle called identification. Identification in layman's terms essentially is, what do people want to identify as? That is why supplement companies show the jack dudes, show the ripped girls. They're not showing the overweight people because people don't want to be that, okay? That is why you always show what is the dream outcome a person aspires to be, wishes they look like, or wishes what people saw them as. You're always marketing the next step or the next level people are aspiring to be, okay? That's what's called identification. What do they identify as? And that's why this works so well. You always take the attractive model, okay, that your customer base aspires to be like, and it doesn't have to be skinny, it can still be plus size, but what they aspire to be like and to look like, like. And that is what you have model your products, because then people will buy that because they want to look like that. That is essentially how identification works. But identification works beyond just fashion. It works, for example, in baby products. Women want to buy these baby products so that they think that they are a mom that takes care of their kids, or that makes their kids healthy, or that has their kids look good, look prim and proper and well dressed. Like, that is why that still works even in that niche, because there's identification works in every vertical, every niche. Okay. Now, a really great way to do this is, and we do this on our side, but you have to go through this process yourself, is when we start working with a brand, we ask ourselves, who is their customer base and what do they aspire to be? That aspiration can be for different personas. You could have like a persona of a Caucasian white female, an African-American woman, of an Asian woman. Like, you can have different personas, but you need to understand, what do they aspire to be? What do they aspire to look like? What are the kind of things that get their attention? And what we do is we come up with the mood board. What's really crazy, now with ChatGPT, this makes it even easier to create this kind of stuff, but we come up with the mood board. What is the mood we want to convey in the creative and the branding specifically, even though we're not a branding firm, but what is the mood we want to create? And then that becomes the channel we want to show when we want people to identify with the brand. That's really important. That's why, for example, one of our brands, their customer base was showing with their customer base for the type of people where that one, it was like the hustle culture, the money, the cars. So for their mood board, it had Ferraris and expensive watches. But what that created on the back end is that when we were showing the lookbook creative, in the background was always a very expensive car. Even though they didn't sell watches, every model wore an expensive watch. Okay. They were always in high-end settings in downtown Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay. Abroad, like in London, in Morocco, in Italy, and downtown Miami. We were always showing them in settings that their customer base wants to be, aspires to be, or wishes people saw them as. And then that particular product helps enable them to get there, feel like they're there, or on their way there. That is why this works so well. And lookbook ads are the way to do it. And we're doing $200,000 a month for our brands, a month for the brands that are doing this. And while it looks like that it's just all about the creative, it's really not. It's about deeply understanding the customer and their desires. It always comes back to that principle. And then we're just trying to enable the content and the strategy to show that, and how that this product helps enable them to get there, to feel like they're there, to feel like they're on the way there. At the end of the day, that is it. And if you don't know, but you have some ideas, start testing, experimenting, survey your customers. Go look, I do this, like go look at their Instagrams, their TikToks. What do they talk about? What do they aspire to be? What do they put in their Instagram stories? And if you do that, you start to formulate what do they do and what is important to them. And then that crafts how to create a lookbook that would actually be appetizing to them. If you like breakdowns like this, we have a mentorship group where we teach 49 other e-commerce founders this style of content and scaling that works. Click the link in the description if you want a shortcut to figure out what to do, what to shoot, and what to do to scale.